All right, I'm back. I'm going to show you a very powerful acupressure technique. It's just really a pressure technique on the back of your neck in a certain place that will pop open your sinuses if you have congestion or your sinuses are not draining, and you're going to feel wonderful because you're going to breathe again. So in practice, I use this technique on thousands of people with great success, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, I do want to mention a couple things about the sinuses because this is an acupressure technique. And there's other things that can cause a sinus problem, like fungus growing in your sinuses, bacterial infection, et cetera, et cetera. And also an allergy to cheese, okay? So cheese is probably the biggest culprit. So if you have a sinus problem, just avoid cheese and see if that doesn't just clear it up. And of course, sugar feeds the unfriendly fungus and yeast that are in the sinuses, and just avoiding that would probably help you greatly. I did a video on using a couple drops of diluted kimchi juice that works really good on reestablishing the normal microbes in your sinuses. And of course, Spanish black radish is a good remedy for sinus problems, okay? You have two options, okay? You can either get a device like this, my device, and use this on the back of your neck, or you can get someone to watch this video and just apply the technique. So I'm going to show you both ways. But I first have to tell you how I came up with this, okay? So when I was in chiropractic school, unfortunately, in the very beginning part, when you start learning about technique, you have to practice this. And who are you going to practice on, right? Other students. So you get to practice on other students, and then these other new students get to practice on you. I'm talking adjusting the neck, right? And so you have people that do not have a clue of what they're doing, and they start working on adjustments. And so someone adjusted me incorrectly, and I ended up with stuffiness. I couldn't breathe. And so I went to the instructor. And at that time, it was a very famous chiropractor named Virgil Strang. If you know anything about chiropractic, you know Virgil Strang. He wrote philosophy books. He's a very competent, seasoned chiropractor, been in practice for many years. He's probably one of the best adjusters that I ever had work on me. So he checked me and he said, oh, we need to work on C2. Okay, that's the second vertebra right here. So he felt it. He found out it was rotated the wrong way. He did it the opposite way and just popped open my sinuses. And I could finally breathe after several days of having a stuffy nose. So I will say there's nothing better than having a competent chiropractor work on you and do the exact right procedure, okay? But of course, when you're learning, you have people rubbing you or adjusting you the wrong way. Now, in practice, I had this idea. Instead of adjusting this vertebra right here, the second one, could it work if you just applied pressure? And what I found was it does work very dramatically. And so when you're done with this video, I want you to have someone do this to you if you have a sinus problem, and then write in the comments on what happened, because you're going to find a huge shift in your ability to breathe. But the first thing I want you to do is just to check your sinuses and plug one sinus and then see which sinus is open and which one is closed, and just kind of get in a conceptual idea of how bad it is, because then you want to re-rate it and see how much better it is. But you should feel great relief immediately applying pressure to the second vertebra. Now, the question is, why does it work? I don't know, because the nerves that control the sinuses, okay, are part of the cranial nerves, which are higher up in the brainstem, like right in the occiput way over here. It doesn't necessarily extend down into this area of the body that I know of, but there could be some type of connection. I just don't know. All I know is when you press into this area, okay, correctly, you can cause a great opening of the sinuses, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do it to someone else, and then that person can do it to you. You want to take your thumb and your middle finger right here, okay? I'm not flipping you off, but you want to press into, okay, directly from the back part, called the posterior, to the anterior. You want to directly put pressure right here. I usually like to have the person sitting down, and I like to kind of get my elbow right here and press this way, so I'm not like out like this, okay? So I kind of like to get behind, and I like to have them sitting down, but I have the skeleton standing, so it's a little difficult. But anyway, you're going to press right here. So this is You apply your fingers about this wide, okay? Now, how do you find it? Right underneath the skull, you drop right down. The first one you're going to feel is the first one, okay? You just drop down about, I'd say maybe 3/4 of an inch, okay? Maybe an inch below this back part here. It's called the back of the skull occiput. So you drop down about an inch and you'll be right at the second cervical vertebra. And you're going to just apply pressure. Now you're going to take your other hand and put it in the forehead, so you're not just pressing this way, right? So you take the forehead, let's show you right here, hold that, and then you press in this way, this pressure right here, okay? So you just press, it doesn't have to be that hard, and hold, okay? The key is making sure that the pressure on this finger and this thumb is equal, okay? You're just going to hold that for maybe 20 seconds to 30 seconds. And you're just going to ask the person, tell me when you can start breathing again. And probably within 10, 15 seconds, they're going to go, wow, I can breathe better, right? So if you do it longer, you'll have more improvement. So that's the simplicity of how to do this technique. Now, if you have my device, you can use the medium width one, and you can put it right in the back of the neck and lay on a tall back chair or a couch. I do this every night, and I put pressure there and I allow the gravity to press in the back part of the C2, the second cervical vertebra. And I'll just hold it there and it'll just allow me to breathe. It helps with other things too. But those are the two different ways you can use this simple acupressure to open up your sinuses. So what I want you to do right now is get someone to do this to you if you have sinus problems, or you do it to someone else, and comment down below on how it helped you. And then when you're done with that, I recommend you watch this video right here, the one that you're applying a couple drops of kimchi to really help you improve your sinus microbiome. And I put that video up right here. Check it out.